So you may have seen where I'm doing a braised brisket, but I cut that brisket off this giant thing. Forget how many pounds it is total, but I think I put about 2 pounds over there. This one's kind of thick, so I'm thinking this is going to be maybe 8 pounds or more because it's pretty thick over here on this side. Now I've made a spice mix that I'm going to put on here as a rub. And then we're going to smoke this for about 8 hours at least. We'll be right back. Okay, I have my starter coals preheated. I heat them up in this little chimney. And Chris is going to put some more coals on top of this. If you notice, I put the majority of coals in the back, and that's way I can control how much heat the brisket gets by either moving it to the back or bringing it up to the front. And then as the coals burn, they'll burn from back to front, and then I can inverse my process where I will move, this will be hotter than back here. Those will have already died out in the back. And that is how I do long smokes on a regular grill. So stay tuned. All right, so now the coals are placed. We'll get that grate on there and we'll put that brisket on. So here we're back at our seasoned brisket. Just gonna let those coals heat up a little bit before I put this on. And I'm gonna clean the grate. All right, we're smoking now. Let me tell you how I clean my grates. So I've heard all those stories about people using the wire brushes and then them eating them and getting stuck in their throat, having to have, big issue there. So I heard this years ago, and what I use is a balled up piece of aluminum foil. Believe it or not, it cleans the grate beautifully, and I like that it's flexible, so if you have any big chunks of anything, you can kind of flex it in there and get those pieces out. So we're going to shut this, and we're going to be smoking for 8 hours. I'll come back out and check it regularly. If it needs, I'll give it some oxygen. And we'll see what happens here. Should be quite good though. I'm counting on it. Okay, the blue tray is in the sink. Let me tell you about this blue tray. I keep 2 of these trays in my refrigerator in the back of 2 refrigerators. I have a low profile up front. I have a refrigerator in the back for extra frozen goods, drinks, that type of thing, and to thaw my meats. But I use these trays because when your meat leaks as it's thawing, then you have to clean the whole refrigerator and all that. Well, I thaw my meat on these trays, and as you saw, I also just pulled out the brisket, I cut it open, drain it in the sink, and then I did all my prep on this very tray that'll get washed and put back in the refrigerator to prevent any spills or leaks and big messes. So that's my pro tip for the day, as well as using the aluminum foil to clean the grates on your grill. I hope these have been helpful, and we'll see you later when the brisket comes in. Here's the brisket after about an hour of smoking. Now, I put fat side down first. I'm going to flip it now, and we're going to let all that fat melt down in through that meat and keep it nice and flavorful and moist. So here you can see I've turned it. I'm going to bring it off the heat and let this continue smoking. We are on hour 3.5 here. You can see how slow I'm cooking this, because most of the coals are still here. Hasn't even moved up to this front area too much yet. But look at those flames coming up fast. It is hot. So I'm getting a lot of heat out of here. Let's shut this, and I'll come back and check it in maybe another hour or so. It has probably 5 to go. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. We're just now taking this brisket off the grill. It has smoked 9 hours. I will put it in the fridge tonight. Tomorrow I will give it some oven loving and make sure it's super tender. And then I'll bag it up and freeze it for future dinners. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, and share. We appreciate it, and it helps the channel. And we hope you have a great week. Thank you so much. All right, here we are the next day, and this brisket has been in the oven. Now, I took it out of the pan, and let's see, it went for like 2 hours at 225, and then we turned it off. And then when I got back up, I put it on for 325 for another hour or so. But there's a lot of grease in the pan, so I just lifted it up. And I don't cut fat off my brisket because fat is flavor. And I think it keeps it moist and more flavorful during the whole grilling process. But in a minute here, we'll slice it up and show you the inside. And we'll check out that smoke ring. Now, there may not be as much smoke ring on the top where the fat is. There should be plenty in the bottom. Stay tuned. Okay, here the brisket is with a little bit more light on it. So what I'm going to do, since this is pretty wide, I'm going to go ahead and cut it down the middle. Kind of down the middle. And there's our inside. So a nice smoke ring here. On the sides at least. But I'm going to guess. But you can see how moist this is. Look at that. It's beautifully moist. So now that I've got those cut, to the side, I'm going to start slicing this way. Now this fat is just, oh my goodness. Maybe a little too done, huh? Look how moist it is, though. This is beautiful. It's going to be more like a chopped thing than anything, I think. So anyway, that is the beef brisket grilled on a regular grill, smoked for 9.5 hours about. A little oven time at 325 for a couple hours. I think we could have stopped there. You know, I just like that. I did put a little bit of water in the pan, just maybe 1/4 inch, and then did the double foil, then in the oven at 325 the next day. It's a lot of work, but anyway, this is what we ended up with. And the reason I did do a brisket, I've been ordering them, but they're always out. So, but right now, when you look at meat prices, brisket is a really good value, even with all the fat, because it is a really good cut of meat done well. So if you follow this grilling smoking procedure, or you do it like I did in the oven with the other recipe, you'll see that it is a very good value for what you get. So thanks for watching. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Please share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And to all our old subscribers, we thank you very much for your support, and we love you all. See you later.